Hey guys, and welcome back to Teal House Farm. We're doing another recipe from the canning pantry today, so come join us while we make some quick dinner using things that we already have put up in our canning pantry. As always, if you love canning pantry videos or want to learn how to can, we have lots of step-by-step canning and cooking with canned foods videos in our playlists, so check out our canning and our cooking from the canning pantry playlists. Today we are going to be making a stuffed bell pepper casserole. So we're not actually going to be stuffing the pepper, but we're going to make something that tastes just like a delicious, yummy, healthy stuffed bell pepper using what's in our canning pantry. JJ, do you want to help me go get what we need?
Yeah!
Let's do it.
I want to make two.
Okay. Okay, go ahead. I'll help you.
Which one do
Okay,
we
first
need?
thing we need is our peppers.
Which one's peppers?
Got peppers. So we're going to do 2 cans of canned bell peppers.
Ew, I don't like peppers.
Oh, these will be yummy. We're going to need some canned hamburger.
I can't
So there'll be
hold
some leftovers.
it.
Okay, let's go.
It's so big.
Okay, we need a canned onion right here, JJ. Canned onion.
Yeah.
Okay.
It kind of looks like a banana.
It looks like a banana, huh?
Yeah.
And we need some canned tomatoes. I don't have any home canned ones, but there's one from the store. Should we sneak some zucchini in our recipe?
What is it going to taste like? Is it going to taste good? No.
I can't reach it.
I heard, no. You don't need to get it.
Yes, we do. Okay, here is everything we need. So just to review, we got some cheddar cheese because kids like it better if there's cheese on
It
top.
looks like I'm holding it.
Okay, put your hand down. We have 1/2 pint of canned onions. We have a
Right
pint
there.
of tomato, just plain tomato sauce. I didn't have any left that we made from last year, so that's from the store. We have a quart of zucchini. We're going to serve this on top of rice. So I have my homemade rice mix, and I'll link that below, but it's basically just a chicken flavored rice. And it's vacuum sealed, so it'll be nice and fresh. We'll make that kind of like you'd make a rice-a-roni, and we'll serve this casserole on top of it. We have 2 jars of canned bell peppers. These siphoned too much when I canned them a couple days ago, so I'm using these first. The other ones in the batch were fine, but we're going to use these first because they had too much water siphoning.
They look so small.
We have some diced tomatoes, and as far as spices go, we're going to do some salt, pepper, and some Italian seasoning. Are you ready, JJ?
Yeah,
to do some cooking?
Let's shake it.
Let's shake it. Shake it, bake it.
You can't see us, right?
First rule of helping mom in the kitchen is you got to put your hair up. Nobody wants your hair in their food, so let's get it up and out of the way so we don't have to worry about it. Then we're going to go ahead and get started. We need a medium-sized bowl here. We're basically going to make a big, mushy meatloaf-looking thing. So we're going to use the whole quart of hamburger here. I am planning on having some leftovers. We're cooking for 8 people, so just to give you an idea of how much we are actually making. We're going to drain the onions and dump them in. Drain 2 half pints of peppers and dump them in. Opening up our tomatoes and dumping those in, and also dumping in the tomato sauce. For the zucchini, I'm going to go ahead and drain it, and I'm not going to use the whole quart. That's an awful lot of zucchini, and I kind of am trying to hide it. As you heard, not everyone likes zucchini. So I'm going to drain some and just chop up maybe, I don't know, a 1/2 cup worth of zucchini. I'm going to put the rest of the jar in the fridge for a recipe later this week. And we're going to add a teaspoon of Italian seasoning, about a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and a 1/4-ish teaspoon, a sprinkle of pepper. And we mix it all together. It does look kind of funny and mushy, but I promise once it's all cooked, it's going to be less runny and be a great consistency. We're gonna dump that into one of my favorite dishes here. This is a cast iron pot. I'll link it below. It's a great size for cooking casseroles, and I also make our German pancakes sometimes for breakfast in here. It's just the perfect size. We're gonna top it with some cheddar cheese. Actually, probably a lot of cheddar cheese. I find if I put cheese on top, the kids don't notice the vegetables and they'll eat it. Then into the oven on 350 it goes. You want it until it's nice and bubbly and the cheese is a little bit browned on top, so at least a 1/2 hour. Don't be in a rush on this one. Everything is fully cooked, but we want to make sure that some of that extra liquid has time to evaporate and everything gets warmed all the way through. Now we're going to get our regular pot here, and we're going to start the water for the rice. It's 2 parts water to 1 part rice, so it's pretty easy to measure out. And we already have our rice pre-seasoned, like I said. It's vacuum sealed in that jar, so all I have to do is bring the water to the boil, dump the rice in, and then cover it on a simmer for 17 minutes, and it's ready to go. Okay, to finish up the meal, we're gonna whip up some buttermilk biscuits real quick. Annie's gonna help me. I love the buttermilk biscuit recipe from the Hillbilly Kitchen. So I love this recipe so much, and I definitely don't want to steal it from somebody without giving them their proper due. So Annie and I are going to make this with these ingredients, but if you want to watch the step-by-step how to make them, I'll link her video below because she goes into a lot of detail about her ingredients, and just, it's basically the best biscuits I've ever had. So she also has a cookbook too, which has some delicious recipes. So we're going to whip these up. They're so fast, and they're always nice and fluffy. I will say, we almost never have buttermilk on hand, so I substitute buttermilk for milk with a dash of vinegar in it, and it works just fine in the recipe. So don't worry if you don't have buttermilk. All right, we have a new helper, and again, you have to put your hair up if you want to help mommy in the kitchen. Nobody wants hairy biscuits for dinner. So we get Annie put up in a ponytail, and we're gonna get these biscuits started. We washed out the bowl we used before, so we're just gonna use it again. This recipe makes barely enough biscuits for our family, so I'm gonna have to start doubling it or maybe tripling it because everyone always wants more. But we're gonna add some flour. It's got baking powder and some salt. We'll cut in some butter, and then we're gonna make our fake buttermilk, which basically is the milk, and then we're gonna add maybe half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of white vinegar, let it sit for a couple minutes, and then we're going to mix in the honey that's in the recipe as well, which I think is what is the secret ingredient in these biscuits. We get it all worked together. Don't overwork your biscuits. Press it out and start cutting. I don't have a biscuit cutter, and I don't have a good excuse why. I've just never picked one up, so I use these rings from mason jars to cut biscuits. You're really supposed to use a biscuit cutter though, because the rings can press the ends down, which doesn't let your biscuits rise quite as much. But our biscuits do pretty well. They're just not super duper duper tall. I put them on this greased baking sheet, and then one of my secrets here, I guess it's not really a secret, I think most biscuit makers do this, but I'm going to put them in the freezer on this sheet for just about 10 minutes before I put them in the oven. So into the freezer they go. Always need to clear up our workspace so there's less work to do later. We get that cleaned up, and then we're gonna go see how everything else is doing. Our dinner is almost ready, and our biscuits went into the freezer for that 10-15 minutes, and so we're going to put them in the oven now. Our casserole is still in the oven, but it's nice and bubbly. So we're gonna jack the oven up to 400 degrees for 8 to 10 minutes to cook those biscuits, and that'll also help brown the top of the cheese. And now we're ready to serve it out. Everyone gets a scoop of rice. I did make extra rice. I was planning on leftovers. And on top of that, we're gonna put a big scoop of our stuffed pepper casserole. And then it should be pretty much ready to eat, and our biscuits are now ready to come out of the oven, so we're gonna add those on the side. And there is nothing like a fresh hot biscuit with some butter and honey.
I like it.
Don't
He's just eating his fork. Yay! Daddy. My turn. It looks like chili grinded up in a machine. Let's taste this bad boy. So there's rice, there's cheese, and there's and beef. My taste buds are swimming in heaven.
stop poking it in this report.
Okay, we packaged up our leftovers here. We'll put them in the freezer, and then they're available for Sam to grab for a lunch or for a dinner on nights when we're not home and he's doing school from home. So super easy. We'll add it to our collection of leftovers for the microwave. Thanks so much for watching. We'll have a new Cooking from the Canning Pantry video for you next week, as always on Tuesday. Bye.